It's a great honor to be invited in this beautiful young company. And when Koda came to me a few years ago to invite me to be the third designer to join the brand, I already felt very comfortable in being in good company. I mean, obviously with the beautiful pieces that both Ronan Burulek and also Gamu Fratesi created. And there was a very, very beautiful foundation for something to evolve in a very nice way. I also knew Koda for many years. I first met him probably in 2014 in Tokyo. He came to one event that I had with Floss. Back then I was mostly working with lighting. I wasn't doing much furniture, and it's interesting because slowly I found myself exploring more and more in the world of furniture design. So the attraction to work with the Japanese brand was enormous. First, because I have a huge respect for the culture and also the craftsmanship and the tradition that exists. So the invitation was a non-brainer for me to accept immediately and say, I would love to do it. Then we work out all the details later. I mean, the commitment is there, the intent is great, and I think it was a good foundation to start the collaboration. And it's been a very interesting journey for me because I worked for a lot of different companies, for American companies, European companies, Danish companies, and also Italian mainly. And every time you work with in a different country, you have to respect and address the differences that are there and embrace them and really understand them before you start designing. And so it was a challenge to work for the first time with a Japanese brand. Not only the communication, but what really surprised me was the attention to and respect for the detail that you're presenting there. You know, that there is a very gentle way to address a challenge or a problem. And this is really unique, I think, in that relationship. It doesn't exist that somebody will ever turn around and say to you, I don't like this, you know, which is something that I grew up with, you know, that you have to freedom to express that and say, you know, this is not for us, we don't like it. But, you know, it's about a conversation and a very gentle and noble approach towards addressing something, because everything is possible. It's just a matter of how you really start the conversation. And the conversation started with great respect for every single detail about this chair. I created this chair as an honest communication in terms of the structure, as a generous, probably oversized chair, slightly different than all the other pieces that KOYORI has in their collection. And mainly, if I was to wrap up the feeling of sitting in a chair, and especially when I first received the first prototype and sat in it, was that feeling that makes you smile, that you remember yourself as a child sitting in a chair, which is, you know, oversized, and is something that, because as a child you're kind of smaller, so occupying a grown-up piece of furniture was something of a feeling that I think we all experienced at some point in our lives, and to be reminded of that was a very rewarding feeling that I had when I saw that chair, because I wanted to create something that is welcoming, something that you know, the curves are there to invite you to sit on them. There is a certain lightness to it, visual lightness, and there is a very clear and transparent communication in the structure. You can understand almost the joints, you can read the joints, you can see where the joints are. And I think for me, this was really what I wanted to say with the chair. When we created the chair and it arrived in my studio and I looked at it, because the intent at the beginning, and I'm not going to lie about it, but the stool came after, and it did come after. Because I looked at the chair and I liked it, I sat on it, and I said, it needs company. It doesn't need support, but it needs company. And this is my intent with the stool, is to create a very versatile piece of furniture that can have a dialogue with the chair. You can use it as a footstool or an ottoman, as you can refer to it, or even to put a tray with your drink, or you can use it alone. You can pair it with a chair, and then it can occupy different places in the house. I was asked this question this morning about in which setting did I design the chair for. And it's an interesting question because it's almost like something that is very, very obvious that everybody could think of. But the same time is, as designers, we release into the world, and then from that moment on, we have no control as to what happens to our products. A lot of the times we hate the way our products are used, but we cannot avoid that because we cannot control that. I mean, it's part of human nature. You have to respect how people will understand or read your product. And I learned to embrace that over the years and realize that the biggest compliment is to see people using a piece of furniture in other ways that you never really imagined it, or you never really designed them for. So I see this chair as, I can give you like a list of different possible places, to be used on it, but I'll be particularly excited to see, other different environments where this piece of furniture could be. So I think I've said everything I wanted to say, and I feel very privileged to be the new member of KOYORI, this beautiful company, and I really look forward to our next project. So thank you to the team, thank you to Koda.
Been very dear to this collaboration, and it has been a great journey. Now it's several years that we start to collaborate, and in such an amazing way how you respect your drawing, your project, and how you ended up to see this beautiful creation after hard work for everyone. As you mentioned, it's a small company. We started as and Ron and Erwan Burulek, the first collection, and I still remember when we were in Tokyo, having a nice Japanese food, and then he said that I would like to introduce, of course, a new designer. And when he said the name of Michael, we were very happy for that because we respect his work very much. I think both the Borolek has and Michael has, of course, different languages, which makes the company very interesting. But all of us, I think, in KOYORI brings their vision with extremely high quality and respect for Japanese philosophy and craftsmanship. So I think everyone has introduced a piece of our philosophy in a great way with a common language to the Japanese craftsmanship. And again, we are here the second time in the Orgren space. I think it's a little unknown space in Copenhagen. I mean, there are streets extremely busy in the center, and there is this space when you enter, you are not sure it's the right building, and then suddenly you enter. And we would like that the people always find a little bit of Japanese experience into the gallery here. And our question was, how can we make this space new again somehow? Because, of course, we would like the visitor to be surprised in a dedicated way. And the space is, we want to reflect some peaceful atmosphere. We want to reflect some reflection. And, of course, we want also that the product are the standing piece in the exhibition, while anyway we create a frame. So KOYORI, which means twisted paper, as a meaning. So the paper, of course, is an element that we could play with. And the idea of having hundreds and hundreds of blanks and creating a room on a room would create a very soft and white background which is a combination of still a Scandinavian room. We have the beams, we have the floor, and so we can, I think the light also, it reflects a lot about Copenhagen, but somehow we are indeed in a Japanese room. So the combination, we thought it was interesting, and then the carpet would create a very smooth way when the people are moving in the room, discovering the product. So somehow it was just about bringing peaceful atmosphere. And when we calculate the lanterns, I remember we're in studio and then we communicate, and then we first email just very quickly, are we sure about all these lanterns? I said, well, it's that kind of like necessity to create a room, but as Michael said, what I really like in KOYORI, that they trust us, as a designer or interior designer in this case. They just listen, and then they reflect their thought, but they are always very respectful. And then it's not always like that. They are, every time we work with collaboration with companies, we cannot do this alone. And we always need to be the designer and the company on the other side. And the mutual relationship is extremely important to make a success. We cannot do it just with our idea or you with our production capacity. So what we had with KOYORI was a great journey during these few years.
And first of all, I want to say that the chair we're sitting in is the Meow lounge chair, but it's an extension of the Meow dining chair that we launched the first collection, which you can see up there. And I think the way that we managed to do the Meow chair and the first collection, and that was so respectful. I mean, we were so touched when you received the first prototypes with such a respect for every detail in the mic in our studio, and that's where you say this was really meaningful. So this year we made the lounge chair for the Meow. We made the small tables over here that you can see, and close table. They are inspired from Noguchi, as we all know from the amazing sculptures he used to do with stone sculptures. And there was something about the way that he works in a very organic way. He works with a solid material as a stone with different surfaces, so it can be rough and smooth. And we made a reinterpretation with the slotted wood in the sense that we combined two woods. So you see the insert of the oak and the walnut and opposite, and the ways manufactured is really difficult, and it's very amazing how they made the connection so smooth. The other piece is coming here, the small stool. It's the Oribo stool, and Oribo in Japanese means like a small baby wine fig. I want to say that the craftsmanship of this stool is so amazing.
I think it was a combination between the part which is actually so soft in the two hand, and then you have the two section which is very geometric and make it very modern. Then of course the next one to have just a very, very expressive simplicity, just elevating the stool. But this is a project that we came really visiting the factory in Japan, because we saw this pressing machine doing this, really bending the wood in such a powerful way. And this was also the machine using to make the product from Shori Yanagi. So it was actually the same machine that made this masterpiece from Japan. And we say, how can we use this potential in such a simple way? I mean, and the stool was a natural way of just expressing this technique without exceeding. And I think even if it's a small item, it's something that we really love. But these are the new items that we created this year, and what is beautiful about the collaboration with KOYORI is, of course, the potential that we have looking at the capacity of these old manufacturers is you never stop. So you already have more and more idea, and we're looking forward to unfold new project in the next years. Thank you very much.